When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to your favorite program, Let's Talk, with your favorite host, Malik, of course, on your favorite channel, Huda TV. And by the way, someone told me, look, Akhi, maybe you shouldn't say that. Maybe Let's Talk isn't their favorite program. Maybe you're not their favorite host. But you know what? I'm going to say it anyway, so too bad. Because we already know for sure Huda TV is your favorite program. You guys, we have two very, very, very special guests. I'm so excited to have them. Of course, we have a very prominent American revert to Islam. You've seen him on the straight path before. Our good friend Mustafa Moore, as well as the German Sheikh, the Mufti from Berlin, Sheikh Abu Hamza Pir Vogel. Assalamu alaikum, Mustafa. Assalamu alaikum, Abu Hamza. I'm just teasing you guys. It's always an honor. Thank you for coming back, Sheikh Abu Hamza. I'm just teasing you. Thank you so much. And Mustafa, it's your first time on Let's Talk. I've seen you on the straight path. I'm happy to have you here, all the way from from North Carolina, right?
Yes.
All right. And of course, we have our handsome studio audience, mashallah. How are you guys doing? Thank you guys so much for coming. We have our regulars. I think we have a couple of new guys as well. We have a new guy right there, don't we? I haven't seen you on Let's Talk before. First time. Maybe you can handle the microphone, eh? Where are you from?
Munich.
Munich, mashallah. We have another German brother. All right, it's like a German episode again, mashallah. Well, thank you guys for coming. Now, I want to tell the viewers at home, last week we talked about dawah tools, and we had Sheikh Abu Hamza giving us a lot of information about dawah, and it was very beneficial. We had a sister call in the beginning of that episode. Her name was Omar Dunlap. Okay, she had talked about the importance of good manners. So we thought it was appropriate to start another episode to focus on this episode on good manners and good characteristics of the da'i. That's why we decided to name this episode because of her phone call. I believe we have her on the line now. Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much for calling us. Go right ahead.
Thank you for having me. And I believe that having a good character is one of the most important factors in any successful da'wah. It's not only the most important one, but it's one of the important factors, you know. For some reasons, which I personally applied, and it works, alhamdulillah. One of these reasons that usually people judge your actions, not only your words, you know. You know, because like talk is cheap, anyone can talk the talk, but not anyone can walk the walk, you know.
Yes, that's an excellent point.
One of the other reasons, because people are smart, and people tired of hypocrisy, not doing the things and say another thing.
Right.
You should practice what you preach.
Yeah, good point. But sister, do you think good manners is enough? Good characteristic is enough?
No, good character is not. It's just a first step. It's not an only step. It's just a first step. But it opens the doors for you for the da'wah, but you still have to give a direct message.
Thank you so much, sister, for your call. Thank you for your call last episode, because actually, after the episode, Abu Hamza called me. He said, you know, that sister had a great point. Let's revisit that issue. Thank you so much, sister, for calling. Jazakallah. May Allah reward you. Thank you so much. Sheikh Abu Hamza, that's a great point. She said a couple things. She said, practice what you preach. People want to see your actions and not judge your words.
Yes, of course. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. You know, last episode, you know, I felt maybe she felt as if I criticized her, you know. But I didn't want to criticize her because I like this point, because it's very important. But I just want to say something in addition to it, and as she said, it's not enough. It's a first step, and it's not only a first step, but this is something a da'i should always have. And this is why I wanted to talk about this, because you know, in our experience, we met that a lot of people have a wrong impression to this concept, that a da'i has to have some good characteristics. First of all, they don't really know what does character, akhlaq, mean.
Right.
You know, linguistically, it means, it's the plural of khuluq.
Right.
And you know, khuluq and khalq that comes from creation, and the khalq is the outer look,
I see.
and the khuluq is the inner look, and this is the plural of the inner look.
Right.
This is why for example, I don't like this guy if somebody says this guy has a bad akhlaq.
Right.
Because actually this means this guy is absolutely bad. You know? So I like it more, you know, and this is also something in dawah. When you say to somebody you have a bad akhlaq, he will immediately don't like you. But if you say, you know, we have all to work on ourselves, because it's like this. Everybody has to work on himself, you know. Everybody has a lack in his akhlaq, in his characteristics. And there's something else what is very important in this also for the da'i especially. You know, the khul, as your khalq, as your outer look, it's also with your inner look. Something you're created with, you know, you have, but you can also work on it.
Right.
You know, your outer look, you can go to the gym.
Right.
You know, and for your inner look, you can also go to the khuluq gym. You know? So
right. Work on your inner side, right.
This why, by reading the Quran, by looking at the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and what I really wanted to mention is, as the sister said, you know, some people they think, for example, one time in a lecture I asked in Germany, you know, how can we invite the whole city to Islam? You know, so it's really something we should ask ourselves. And I also tell all the people on the TV, ask yourself this question: how can I call my whole city to Islam? If you live in an Islamic country, how can I improve my whole society?
Right.
You know, this is the beginning. And then one person said, and I often hear this: yes, if we just all practice Islam. But if we say this, then the whole, you know, the Meccan period, we divide it into two parts. Dawah Syria, it's called the secret dawah, the first 3 years, but it was actually not as secret as some people think. And Dawah Jahariya.
Which means?
You know, but that means, you know, like the open dawah.
Open dawah,
Like the confronting. But if we say it's only like, I'm handling good with people, then we will never come to the stage of the openly preaching dawah. And this is something very important I wanted to focus on. So it's not enough,
just
it's very, very important. Because if you, for example, preach something and then you do something else, for example, you know, this is kind of not being truthful in your speech. And this is one of the worst attitudes, the people who afterwards never follow you and never hear what you say.
And Sheikh Abu Hamza, if I can get myself in here, being from the United States, as you can see, people are tired of seeing people, like, as the sister said, you know, they practice what you preach.
Yes.
We have a lot of preachers, they always end up on TV, especially if you have a Christian background like we had. You have a lot of preachers that are telling you this, this, and this, and then they get caught doing something bad. Right? So this really sets people back. So how important is good characteristics in the dawah? It's very important, isn't it?
Oh, it's very important. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The Prophet ﷺ said, he came to perfect good manners.
Right.
Okay? So I mean that shows you exactly how important it is.
Of course.
It's at the beginning of our deen. This is what we need to do as good Muslims, is to perfect this thing.
Of course.
And what the brother was saying about the secret dawah, it wasn't exclusively just for the Prophet ﷺ. Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam, he did the same thing. He did secret dawah and he did open dawah for 950 years. You know, and had a handful of people best when he you know, and subhanallah, you know, a lot of people may not think about it, but Allah Azza wa Jal destroyed those people.
Right.
Destroyed those people, and not just, you know, not just that city like he did with Qawm Lut. He destroyed the whole world. Right. And Nuh alayhi salam, he was the only one. And what was he doing? He was practicing good akhlaq.
MashaAllah.
So
it's important. That's
it's a very important. It's a very important issue.
You know what I want to ask both of you? You know, people say, what about Indonesia? They always say Indonesians became Muslims. The whole country became Muslim because of the good manners of Muslim businessmen. What do you think about that?
You know, if somebody means by that there was dawah only with the akhlaq,
right.
So that's
what they mean when they say that.
Yeah. This is what some people say. You know, actually, they take the Indonesian example as an excuse for them to not really preaching to people the religion. You know, we have just to live. So it's really, you know, Indonesia, it's no doubt there was never, you know, a Muslim army came there, and you know, but it's, for example, how can you speak the Shahada if nobody tells you how to do it? So yes, so yes, you know, so it cannot be only the akhlaq. There has be a bit of preaching.
Right.
But what I believe, and this is, you know, when we see the Prophet ﷺ, at the beginning, you know, I say the first day of the dawah, when he came to Khadija, all the people at the beginning, Khadija, Abu Bakr, Ali, Zayd ibn al-Haritha, they accepted Islam. Why? Because they know his akhlaq, that he will never lie.
And before you continue, let me just take this phone call really quick. Sheikh Abu Hamza, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead. Assalamu alaikum. I believe we have a call on the line. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Wa alaikum assalam. I'm fighting us.
Oh, thank you for calling, sister. Where are you calling from? Go ahead, sister. Fatima from Nigeria. Go ahead, sister Fatima. Oh, I'm sorry, the line cut off. I apologize. Sister, give us a call back. We're waiting for your call. Sheikh Abu Hamza, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You had said these people accepted Islam from the good manners of the Prophet ﷺ.
Yes, but there has also be a kind of preaching, a kind of message. Because, I mean, if I see somebody and he has a good manner, it's a beginning step.
Yeah, it opens the door.
See, and also something else. For example, friendliness.
Right.
If you have somebody who is always treating you good, is always nice to you, you're ready to hear what he preaches to you.
Right.
But if you have somebody who's very arrogant, he goes around, he says to you, you know, he's playing like, you know, if he tries to talk to you, you don't want to hear what he's talking. And this
it's the first step.
And this is, you know, what the Prophet ﷺ teaches. And we have also to mention, the da'wah is not only with non-Muslims.
Right.
It's also with Muslims. For example, the Prophet ﷺ, his behavior with his Sahaba, you know, Anas ibn Malik, he reports, you know, he was 10 years, he was serving the Prophet ﷺ, and he says, the Prophet, you know, he never talked bad to me, he never said, why did you do this and that. He had a very, very nice way to speak with the people, to correct the mistakes. But sometimes, when he knew from his wisdom that he should speak hard, that they need a warning, he was warning. For example, I give one example. In Ghazwatul Hunayn, you know, there came a lot of tulaqa, that was the people who were freed in Mecca, and they became Muslim, and they went to Hunayn, and on the way, they wanted to have a tree to put their weapons on.
Okay, right. Go ahead.
Abu Waqid al-Laythi, he reports this. So they said, اجعلنا ذات الأنوات كما لهم ذات الأنوات. Make a tree for us as they have a tree. So first of all, they go to the Prophet and ask him. Say, no, we cannot do it from ourselves. So what did the Prophet say? He said, Allahu Akbar, innaha sunan, wallahi kultum kama qala banu Israel. Wallahi, Allahu Akbar, you say it like the children of Israel said. These are the ways that are always repeating, the sunnah. You know, you say it like Bani Israel said, Ij'alana ilan kama lahum aliyah. Make a God for us if they have gods.
So this case needs strong response.
Very, very strong response. You know, so, but you know, because the hikmah, the wisdom, was here to give a very strong response, because this is not an easy thing. This is now about to heat. This is a very, very serious mistake.
Big mistake.
You know, and really, and also because the Prophet is also a human being. You know, he has this feeling, and this is also good characteristic of a da'i, which has a lot of influence, that he has this jealousy for Allah, that he has this love for Allah. So because when you have this love for Allah and this love for the religion, you know, when you speak to somebody, he feels this. This is a big
has
impact.
Zeal for Allah Azza wa Jalla.
Yeah, subhanAllah.
Zeal. So
zeal. You know, for example, I want to talk a little bit about friendliness. Okay, we should be friendly as a da'i. But however, I saw something interesting today on my way here to the studio. I saw a man with a beard sitting next to a man playing music, and then the other man was smoking cigarettes. So I wanted to say to this man, I mean, is this befitting? I mean, we should be friendly with people, but when they're committing some act of sin, shouldn't we have to warn them or leave them? We shouldn't sit with them.
No,
what do you think, Sheikh? Go ahead, Musaf.
The Prophet ﷺ told his Sahaba to leave them while they're doing the bad things and then rejoin them when they're
doing the good things.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Yeah, good point. Thank you.
There's also, in Surah Nahl, the chapter 16, verse 126 or 125, it said, and this is what Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah says about this verse. Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah. Call to your Lord with wisdom. Actually, wisdom, it's, you can also understand from it, it mustn't be always lean, like gentleness. It
depends.
It depends. But, Ibn al-Qayyim, he says, first you are gentle. And then he says, وَمَوْئِذَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ, and with a good, maw'idha. Maw'idha is something which also warns you.
Right.
So these people, you can also go there and say, what are you doing? You know what you do?
Right.
Sometimes people really need this kind of warning.
Right.
So, and this is also something I want to say for the people outside.
Right.
We try to put everything in the right place, but a da'i will never be able to speak always, to find always the right words for the right situation.
Right.
So don't be too afraid. Try to do your best.
Right.
Try to do your best, but don't think that. For example, I give you a very easy example. An open lecture. You give a lecture as a da'i.
For example,
there are people, they already know this topic. So it's boring maybe for them, or maybe they are better in the topic than you.
Yeah.
And there are people, they don't even understand what you're talking about because they have absolutely no background knowledge.
Right.
So this is a very easy
two different
example.
extremes.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are people, they really need somebody who gives them a clear warning like this.
Depends on the case, right.
And there are people, they need this, but actually, mostly, it's better to make a mistake in gentleness than to make a mistake in hardness.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I give you one example, and this is a very, very, very good example from the Quran.
Before you go we're going to go to a short break. I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. You guys stay tuned for more. Let's talk. We'll be right back.
Inshallah.
Dear viewers, Hoda programs can be watched in the English section of the in-flight entertainment directory on board all Saudi airline flights, domestic and international. Sit back, relax and enjoy watching Hoda's entertaining and enlightening shows on your trip. Hoda wishes you a safe and successful journey. Hoda, a light in every home. Europe's forgotten heritage.
This is a sad reminder of the past history of the Muslims in the city. Nowadays, there are no Muslims anymore. These are the mosques that have remained. And it is really sad.
Wait a second, this is Morocco. No, this is Tunisia, Algeria, North Africa, Egypt. No, this is all Europe, and this is all part of Spain. Islam spread first in Africa, and then from Africa, it came over to Europe, and then it did developing work in Europe. Now, we look the other way around nowadays. The compass was invented by the Muslims. Many important inventions came from the time of the Muslims on the Iberian Peninsula. Instead of people becoming less in battles, as we normally know, as we know in battles obviously people die, but no, what was happening? The Spaniards recognized and realized the superiority of the Muslims and the treatment that the Muslims gave to the Christians and the Jews in Spain at that time, that they happily accepted Islam, many of them.
An Ottoman fountain, as we've seen it before in other places in Greece. Now, it has some Arabic on top, as well as it has some Arabic down, where the tap used to be, or where the water was coming out.
Pack your bags, grab your passports, and join Dr. Steph Karis as he takes us through Europe and rediscovers Europe's forgotten heritage, only on Hoda TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Let's Talk. I'm joined by my two friends, Mustafa Moore, all the way from North Carolina. Where about North Carolina?
In Wilmington.
Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yes.
All right.
But I'm coming here actually from Durham.
From Durham, North Carolina. Yeah,
they're about 2 hours apart.
Okay, excellent. Right on. And of course, we have Abu Hamza all the way from Cologne, Germany. MashaAllah. Thank you for joining us. Before the break, I interrupted you like I always do. I apologize. You were about to quote some verses from the Quran.
No problem. No problem. It's a very nice way of da'wah what Ibrahim did to his father. When you read the chapter 19, Surah Maryam, it must be on the 4th page. You know, he says, يا أبتي إني قد جاءني من العلم ما لم يأتك فاتبعني. He says, oh my father, and Abati, it's, you know, a nice way to see, oh my father, my dear daddy, you know, like my daddy, you know. There came knowledge to me which did not come to you, so follow me. Why is he saying this?
Because his father was an Anbiya.
No, because you know, he's speaking to a person. If somebody comes to you
and
he says, you know, I know it better than you.
Oh,
you know, you don't want to hear it. Like if you say, for example, you see somebody is making a mistake in prayer. You say to him,
you're wrong. No, you don't.
You say to him, excuse me, I have a question to you. You know, I'm a new Muslim, for example. Is it right to put, when we make sujood, do we have to put the nose and the front head on the ground? Or is it enough if you put only the front head to the ground? Because I read last week in the book, I read in the books that we have to do this and that, and you saw him before making these mistakes. You're not like giving him, hey, you did a mistake, but you're asking him. And you're giving him the same time the information, like the knowledge came to me. You know, I'm not intelligent.
In a nice way.
And you know, it was like, you know...
the way you tell them, in a nice way.
You know, and this is really, you know, when we talk to, especially when we talk to other Muslims, or older Muslims, we can give them the message with this in a better way. You know, I read, I heard, excuse me, I heard. You know, maybe, you know, I'm not intelligent, more intelligent than you, but I heard it. Maybe you could also hear it, but I had the fortune to hear it before you. You know,
so the good characteristics, the good manners, the good approach.
And I think this is good with especially with the non-Muslims.
Right, of course.
With Muslims, and also with non-Muslims, you know, it's especially those who are interested in religion. That they feel that you really want the best for them. Like in Surah Al-Ahqaf, the Prophet Hud, alayhi salam. What did he say at the end of his speech when he called to Tawheed? Inni akhafu alaykum adhab yawmin azim. I fear for you the day of a great punishment.
So that's an excellent character. It's not just having good manners, but also they have to feel that you really feel for them and you're scared for them, have concern for them. I want to ask you both, starting with Brother Mustafa, what is the most important characteristic of a good da'i? Go ahead, brother. And after you, Sheikh Abu Hamza.
Okay, knowledge.
Knowledge, okay. You have to have knowledge. Or else...
knowledge and the mannerisms is definitely...
It goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. If you have knowledge but you don't know how to present it, then no one's really going to be too much interested. And if you have, you know, all the enthusiasm in the world but without knowledge, it's not going to do you very much good.
That's a good point. Excellent point. Sheikh Abu Hamza, what are your thoughts? The best characteristic of a da'i?
Look, there is more than one characteristic. But I mentioned, you know, one da'i of the Prophet ﷺ, and his name is Ja'far bin Abi Talib. Ja'far bin Abi Talib, the Prophet said about him that he is the one who is most close to him in outward appearance and in characteristic.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a huge...
Ja'far bin Abi Talib. And Ja'far bin Abi Talib, when he was standing in front of the Najashi, you have to see,
go ahead with
you know, his situation is, Amr ibn As comes...
Before he's Muslim,
and before he becomes Muslim, and he is an enemy of Islam, and he has a good relationship to the Najashi, and it is a very severe problem now. If they will now come back to Mecca, it can have a big problem. So they are talking about what will they do now. So he says, we say what the Prophet said, and what is standing in the Quran, كَائِنٌ فِي ذَلِكَ مَا وَقَائِنٌ. It doesn't matter what happens.
They didn't compromise.
We say the truth.
So
he stands in, so this is the first attitude, this braveness,
Confidence.
that he stands there,
Right.
doesn't care. It has a big,
Effect.
because the people say, this guy cannot talk like this if nothing is there behind it, So,
Right.
and he gives the speech. What does he say? Ya ayyuhal malik. He's friendly.
Right.
Next character is,
Yeah.
Ya ayyuhal malik. كنا قوما أهل الجاهلية. We were the people of ignorance.
Right.
نعبد الأصنام ونأكل نأكل الميتة, and we eat the dead animals. ونأتي الفواحش, and we did commit fornication, adultery, and everything.
Right.
And then he mentioned something about the Prophet.
That's the same.
He says نأتي الفواحش ونقتل الأحرام ونوصي الجوار حتى بعث الله إلينا رسولا منا. So then he comes to the Prophet.
Right.
Then he sent a prophet from us to us.
Right.
Why is he saying from us to us? So that you know that the king knows, they know him very well.
Right.
So the first they say, نعرف نسبه. We know his nasab. Nasab means like his, his
chain
his
of
whole,
lineage, right?
Especially chain of lineage.
Okay.
Why does he mention this? So that the Najashi knows, we know him. Why do they believe in him if they know him so well? So then he says, نعرف نسبه وصدقه, and his truthfulness.
Right.
وأمانته, that he's trustworthy.
Yeah.
And عفافه. عفافه means that he does not commit fornication.
Right.
And this,
practicing what he preaches.
and all these attitudes, truthfulness,
right.
trustworthiness, and to not to
manners, friendliness.
Yes, these are all, all these manners are very important, and this is why the Prophet, his name was Al-Amin, As-Sadiq Al-Amin.
Right.
40 years he was living there, and he came with this, he said to them, the first open speech or the second on the Mount of Safa, what did he say? If I would tell you that there is an enemy, an army that want to destroy you, would you believe me?
And they said, yes, of course, we would believe you.
Would you believe me? They say,
of course.
نعم ما جربنا عليك كذبا. Yes, we never heard the lie from you.
Of course.
This is so important. If you lie, if they saw you lying,
this
is very bad.
Yeah, of course. That's like the first 6 o'clock is what we preach. I believe you have a phone call. Assalamu alaikum, sister, from Egypt, I believe.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
Amu Hafsa, alaikum salam. Thank you for calling, sister. Go right ahead. You're live.
Yes. Hi. I want to know how can someone develop their good manners if they've had bad manners all their life and they want to do dawah and they don't really get along with people in general? How can someone develop good manners?
Thank you. Actually, thank you very much for that question, sister. Actually, our friend in the studio audience in the break, he just asked that question. Mr. Akim Basuni, he's a regular at Let's Talk. I know he says he's Egyptian, but I really think he's from Bosnia also, or maybe Germany.
No.
I want to see your passport, Aki.
No. I'm Egyptian.
Well, you were just asking the same question. You said, what about correcting the bad manners? Yeah. Starting with Mustafa and then going to Sheikh Abu Hamza. How do we correct bad manners?
Well, we would have to go back to the ones who had, with the Prophet ﷺ, who had the best manners, and see how he lived his life and how he conducted himself.
Yeah, of course.
That's that's the best example.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Number one, and you recognize that you have these mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's good. Obviously, yeah. Sheikh Abu Hamza, if I'm a guy, I have bad manners. I recognize it in myself. I want to improve this. What are some practical steps I can take?
First of all, like Umar al-Khattab said, حَاسِبُ أَنفُسَكُمْ قَبْلَ أَن تُحَاسَبُوا. This means,
take care of yourself.
Look at yourself, make muhasaba. That means like
account yourself.
Account yourself before you account. So look at yourself. Where are your mistakes? You can also ask some friends, and then the first step is like reading the Quran, and reading the Sunnah.
Right.
Really, I tell you, if you read, for example, with Riyadus Salihin, there's a very big chapter, quite in the middle end, of the book about akhlaq. If you read this, and if somebody speaks Arabic outside, I give him that advice to read Sharh Riyadus Salihin from Sheikh Uthaymeen. Believe me, he will give you a lot of good information. Then to be with people who have a good akhlaq. Believe me, because what we have to know that the feeling somebody has inside, now, some people say, yeah, Abu Hamza, where do you have this from?
Right, right.
You know, the feeling somebody has, he can transmit it to other people.
Yeah.
As illnesses.
Right.
I give you an example. You come into a room, all the people are laughing. Will you cry? No, nobody. You start to laugh.
Right.
You come to a room, everybody's crying.
Like
you know, you will
infections,
get
you know?
sad.
Yeah.
You know, if you are together with people who have a good akhlaq, it has an impact on you.
It rubs
and
off
this,
on you.
this is now our experience. Now I come from the Sunnah.
Right,
The Prophet said, the example of the one, you know, who sits with the good and one who sits with the best, is like the one who sits with the mist, somebody who, what does this mean? Haddad. What does this Haddad mean? You?
What does that mean?
Nafikhul khir.
We call it oil.
Yes, blacksmith, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, when you sit with a blacksmith, you get a bad smell, or
It
maybe,
burns your clothes.
you know, a sharara comes, you know, on your
burns your
a
shirt.
spark, yes,
Right.
comes. So it will have a bad impact.
Yeah.
And if you sit with the
Someone
one
with perfume.
who gives you perfume, you will smell something good, or you will smell good afterwards. It has an impact on you.
Yeah, it rubs off.
You know, and this is also how the Prophet educated his people.
Yeah.
So look which people have this good akhlaq, and which people try really to be like the Prophet ﷺ. And I give you, you know, for the people here in Egypt, you know, I know one sheikh, he is very keen to try to imitate the Prophet in his characteristics. And this is Sheikh Abu Ishaq al-Hawaini. You know, I met him so often, and he really tries in every step to imitate the Prophet in his characteristics. I visited him yesterday, 3 days ago, and yesterday in the hospital. 3 days ago, I came into the room. Akhi, he looked very ill. I was crying when I came in. He told me, "Don't cry, I'm fine." You know, he was from his, you know, heart so strong.
Yeah.
You know, and yesterday he looked so good, alhamdulillah, mashallah. But you know, it's really, you know, because why? Because he's always reading the sunnah.
Yeah.
Because he's a muhaddith, he's always reading the sunnah.
Makes you
He's
strong.
always seeing the Prophet. And also, now the characteristic of the Prophet, I give you one example, how he motivated the people. And there are a lot of examples.
Right.
Ghazwatul Hunayn, you know, something happens, and the Sahaba are human beings, and almost all fled.
Right.
So what did the Prophet do? He said to his uncle Al-Abbas to call them. Then later on there were 80 until 100 people, and what did the Prophet do? He was the one who went right in front of the enemy, and they had to get his mule,
Right.
you know, and he said, Anna Nabi la kadhib, Anna ibn Abdul Muttalib, you know, I'm the Prophet, this is no lie.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
the son, from the ancestors of Abdul Muttalib. So
right.
look at this braveness, and
Yeah.
this braveness had this impact on the people
This
that they
rubs off
came
on
back.
you. Yeah. Bravery and courage. I think we have a
Yeah.
call. Fatima from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for alaikum salam. Thank you for calling back, sister. Go right ahead. You're live on Huda TV.
My name is Fatima. I'm calling from Nigeria.
Thank you so much, sister. Go ahead.
Please, I have a question. I'm asking about the issue of those Muslims going about killing Muslim scholars, because it's very common here in Nigeria. And my second question is:
Those Muslims
want
doing
to
what,
know-
sister? Those Muslims doing what, Nigeria?
Yes, Muslim brothers going about killing Muslim scholars in Nigeria.
Oh my God, I didn't hear about that. It's very bad, very bad. Would you like Sheikh Abu Hamza to speak a little bit about
Killing?
that?
Killing
And the
scholars.
next question is, I'm asking when the situation when girls' hostels in school, you know how the hostels are in school?
Sister, can you repeat that? I couldn't quite hear you.
Yes, I said girls' hostels in school, the behaviors in school, sometimes they move about half naked, thinking whether they are Muslim sisters or they can move naked inside the hostel. So I want to know whether it's right or not.
Okay, thank you very much for your call, sister. I couldn't quite hear the second question, but we'll get the information from the van, inshallah. Thank you for calling. I believe she was talking about the political situation in Nigeria. I don't know if we're qualified to speak about that. I think they have having some violence and some problems in Nigeria, and we hope Allah brings stability and peace and security to Nigeria.
You know,
That's for sure.
I don't know the situation in Nigeria because, and this is a reason why it's very hard for us to speak about this. But commonly speaking, you know, this is also something to do with akhlaq.
Right.
Often we are not just to people because of one characteristic, that we are not halim enough. Halim, that means, halim is like gentleness, but it's meant with this also that you, when you are angry, that you, and I'm also talking about me, you know, that it's sometimes like this. You see something, and the shaitan, he gives you a picture. You say, what kind of munafiq is this?
Right.
If you would, and this is a characteristic of the Prophet, first you will speak with the person. What is your opinion? What is your view? We often saw, you know, I give you one example. You know, one guy, one time, I told to a brother, you know, in Germany, like, there's some dawah groups, you know.
Alhamdulillah.
You know, when I was talking with him, you know, look what you say there and there, you know, about me and so on. So he said, yeah, look what you said and this and that. I say to him, I didn't mean you. And then I was thinking about, this situation. And I thought, subhanallah, if I would be in his situation, I would exactly mean that he means me, you know.
Right.
I would be so angry, I would go in front of his house and say, what did you say about me? You know, yeah, and this is what I mean, you know. We should always first, and there's a very, very, very important hadith of the Prophet, الشديد ليس بسرعة وإنما الشديد من يحمل نفسه عند الغضب. You know, the strong person is not the one who is strong, you know, and wrestle the people down,
Go ahead,
but the one who is able to control himself when he's angry.
Right.
You know, the Prophet does not say that you will not become angry. The Prophet became sometimes angry, but he did not.
Yourself.
But he did not come with a reaction in which he did something bad.
Right, this is the key.
You know, sometimes his face changed. There are a lot of situations his face changed.
But the point is the
but
reaction.
he came with the right reaction. This is a strong person.
Well, you guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to get back to Let's Talk right here on Huda TV, so stay tuned.
Tech Talk.
We're going to look how to create a website and which Islamic websites to actually visit. What inspired you to create your own website?
One of the challenges that we face every day, the site or the application should be accessible worldwide. I remember when I was younger, one of my friends asked me to convince his father to get him a desktop, even the laptop. If you compared both of them in terms of cost, laptop roughly costs twice the money if you compared it with a desktop.
Hackers, the word hackers, most of the youth people are very interested about that word. They say, hey, I'd like to be a hacker, because there is a type of hacker doing great job. We call them white hat hacker.
Fun for everyone.
3, 2, 1.
What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up?
The firefighter uses what to control fire? Water or rocks? Now these two teams go head to head on pulling the blue rope. Now if one person goes over this line right here, the other team loses. Very simple rules. This challenge is worth 5 points.
What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up as a Muslim man?
Fun is for everyone, so get ready to have some fun. Check out these cool competitions between kids. It's important to have fun, and it's also important to be a good sport. So tune in to Fun for Everyone. You don't want to miss it.
When I grow up, what will I be when I grow up as a Muslim man?
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Let's Talk. I want to go to the studio audience real quick, you guys. Now, which one of you guys did that little translation for us in the first and last segment? Who translated that? MashaAllah, I hear you speak English and Arabic like that. MashaAllah, you work as a translator?
Yes, I work as a translator.
Very good, Ahmed. Thank you. I could use you. I need someone to speak Arabic. Teach me Arabic.
Okay, if Okay, next show I will be in your place.
Yeah, inshallah, you'll be right here.
As this is the case, I'm glad to be.
Thank you. I believe this brother in the front row had a question or a comment. A brother from Russia, mashallah.
No, I'm not from Russia. Actually, I'm from Egypt.
Go ahead, brother.
First of all, assalamu alaikum to everyone. I have just remember saying of Imam Malik while our brothers was speaking about giving advice or making da'wah towards anyone who is committing a kind of sin. Imam Malik rahimahullah, one of our popular scholars, said before giving advice to someone, he said in Arabic, لا تنظروا في ذنوب الناس كأنكم أرباب وانظروا في ذنوبكم كأنكم عبيد. While you see someone who commits any sin, don't treat him like he's a slave and you are a lord who doesn't commit any sins. No.
Yeah, right.
While he is committing some kind of sins, you also have another kind of sins. So don't look to him as you are a lord. فَارْحَمُوا أَهْلَ الْبَلَاءِ. Be merciful towards him. While you're giving him any advice, be mercy towards him. وَاحْمَدُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى الْعَافِيَةِ. And say, Alhamdulillah الَّذِي عَافَانَا. Thank you, Allah, because I'm not committing this kind of sin. وَاحْمَدُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى الْعَافِيَةِ وَإِيَّاكَ أَن تَقُولْ هَذَا مِنْ أَهْلِ النَّارِ وَهَذَا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ. Don't say, with your bad thoughts, this man will be in the fire hell, and this man will be in the paradise. You are not alone.
Right.
Try to be merciful toward these people. And our Sheikh can illustrate that more than me, better than me.
That's a great point, because how many times do we look at somebody who's sinning? I know I do it myself. I look down at that person right away, and I think to me, I become angry at this person, but I didn't think of all the sins that I'm committing myself. We're all committing sin. Brother, what do you think about that statement?
It's very important, Yeah, and there's something, we always have to in mind, and this is also very important for our attitude with other people in da'wah. There is an ayat in the Quran, Surah Al-Yasin, where Allah says, إِنَّمَا تُنذِرُ مَنِ اتَّبَعَ الذِّكْرَ وَخَشِيَ الرَّحْمَنَ بِالْغَيْبِ. You can only warn those who follow the guidance and fear their Lord, in the ghaib. That means you don't see that they really fear them.
Right.
So there is maybe a person, you don't know if he fears him. There is maybe a person, and he looks like if he's very close to the guidance, but actually is very far away, like Abu Talib.
Right.
Abu Talib, he died as a disbeliever.
Right.
For him it was revealed, the verse 113 in Surah At-Tawbah.
Yeah.
ما كان للنبي والذين آمنوا أن يستغفروا للمشركين ولو كانوا أولي قربى. It's not allowed for the Prophet and the believers to make istighfar for the mushrikun. So, then there are people, you think they're very far away from religion. Like Amr ibn As, Khalid ibn al-Walid, and later on, they become, after. Well, when did they become Muslim? After Sulh Hudaybiyah, in the 7th year. These are 20 years fighting against Islam.
Yeah, wow. Think about that.
But not, not like, somebody here. 20 years fighting with a sword against Islam.
Yeah, right.
It's not. But at the end, they became Muslims, and this is very important. And for example, like it's not allowed to make la'an on this is what Sheikh Uthaymin says in this. It's not allowed to say la'an on the person who is living,
Right.
Because maybe Allah will guide him.
Yeah, right. You never know.
Maybe Allah will guide him.
After he says La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, then he became your brother.
Yeah.
Today maybe he's not. Tomorrow he is. Yeah.
This is like the fatwa also of Sheikh Uthaymin would say this. It is not allowed to make like a curse on a living person. You can curse one who died as a disbeliever, and you have a proof that he really died as a disbeliever.
Yeah, right,
like Iblis, like Fir'aun, like Abu Jahl, and so on and so on.
If you have a proof, right?
Yeah. But not, like you make a curse for any people, but, this is a long topic actually, but I'm just talking about the curse.
Right.
Talking about the curse.
That's an excellent point. Yeah. Sheikh Abu Hamza and also Mustafa, being from the United States, how important is it, like we said, confidence? You said the Prophet ﷺ was confident with courage and bravery. When you see someone who's wavering in their deen, it's not very convincing. If you're like thinking about Islam and you see a Muslim who's not really strong or confident with his deen, it doesn't look doesn't look appealing. And Abu Hamza, you told me before, when you were giving lectures sometimes, people ask you, when we had the program with Dr. Haytham al-Haddad, when people ask you questions, you would say, yeah. When they ask you controversial questions, you say, yes, I will. I will address this, I will address this, I will address this, I will address it in front of everybody. And you said that is effective because it shows your confidence.
Some people, they are talking about how they can go away from certain questions. And this isn't sometimes very bad.
You mean avoid controversial stuff?
Avoid,
right.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we have our priorities,
right.
like Tawheed and so on. And,
right.
I mean, there are, for example, now, there are, for example, now new Muslims or people who want to know something about Islam. So what is your topic?
Right. You have
when you give a lecture, you don't give a topic. Yes, today we speak about the siwak, or today we speak about why is the mortar to be killed. But what will you do now? So what I always do is I tell the people to write the questions down, so I can avoid questions which are not befitting. But, and then maybe the time is over or so on. But what will you do if somebody comes to the stage, takes the microphone, asks you a question? Will you say, no, this question is not... If you react like this, or you don't answer this question, it seems like you have a weakness in your religion. You cannot speak about this.
You look weak.
And this is something, you shouldn't do. The Prophet ﷺ, and this is something we have really to see.
Right.
In Mecca, what did he do? He went, some people say, he didn't, if somebody didn't accept this da'wah and so, he didn't, be giving answer to them.
Right.
But if you really look into it, the Prophet ﷺ, he went to the Mount of Safa. And he calls them all with the alarm calling, was sabaha, and all the people are coming. And he tells them, Inni nadhirun lakum, I'm a warner to you. So Abu Lahab is cursing him. What does the Prophet say? Does he say, I better the next day don't come back to this here? No, the next day he gives dawah one more time, and then he goes to the marketplace, and then he goes to the mukhayyama, to this camping places or this tents of the pilgrims, and he continues and continues and continues. And for example, Abu Bakr, he wanted to emigrate to Abyssinia.
Right.
So Ibn Dughunna, he was like a leader of the Ahabish,
the Habesha people?
No, Ahabish, these are people around Mecca. And he said, a person like you does not go out, and he should not be pulled out. So go back, you're in my jiwar, you're in my protection.
Okay.
So the Meccan people, look now, they speak to Ibn Dughunna, and they say to him, Abu Bakr, we don't want him to pray at the Kaaba. We accept your protection, but he should not pray at the Kaaba. Why?
No.
Because his prayer, he had a lot of khushu. It had a lot of impact. So what did Abu Bakr do? Did he say, now I hide myself? No.
Right.
He prayed in the house. He had like something like a garden, something like a place before the house. So he prayed there, so that the people could still see him praying.
Right. This is
and then all the people came and would look at him, would look at his prayer. But what is this? This is kind of self-confidence. If you forbid me this place, I go to another place.
Yeah, confidence. Yeah. I like that point, because I think that if we don't have confidence, people don't take us seriously.
Yeah.
And we should always have confidence. I know in the United States, I think the dialogue, we let them control the dialogue. So like Sheikh Abu Hamza said before, they're doing dialogue with us. You have to have priorities, right? Do we want to speak about, we want to control the dialogue and direct them to important information like Tawheed, for example.
Yeah.
Right? We don't want them to control the dialogue with us.
Yeah, in Germany, lying means lügen. So we say always, what they want? They don't want the dialogues, they want the dialogue.
Right.
So, for me, it's not important to have a small talk with people. I want to speak about the topic.
Right.
I want to speak about what is the way to paradise.
Right.
This is what the Prophet did. This is what the Prophet did. We speak about our religion, and we say to anybody what Allah says in the Quran. The Prophet was not ashamed to tell him this. We have to see this in Surah Taha. You know, Musa alayhi salam. You know, this is of course one of the best dies ever. Has anybody doubt about this? This is one about the best dies. So the people are always talking about, it's I think verse 43, when Allah says to him, اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى فقول له قولا لينا. Say a gentle word to him. But they don't continue the verse. Then he says, لعله يتذكر أو يخشى. That he may be reminded and is afraid. Why being afraid was a gentle word. So continue. Then Allah later on says what the gentle word is. We have to imagine Musa goes to the Pharaoh, the biggest tyrant maybe of all times, killing little children, and he goes to him. So Allah says to him, فَأْتِيَاهُ. So go both to him. فَقُولَ إِنَّا رَسُولَ رَبِّكَ. We are two messengers from your Lord to you. From your Lord to you. You know, this is the one who says, أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْعَالَى. I'm your biggest Lord. إِنَّ رَسُولَ رَبِّكَ. So then the obligation. فَأَرْسِلْ مَعْنَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيل. So send with us the children of Israel. وَلَا تُعَذِّبْهُمْ كَجِئْنَاكَ بِآيَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكَ وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَى مَنِ اتَّبَعَ الْهُدَى. You know, we came with the signs from your Lord to you, and peace is with those who follow the guidance. So if you don't follow the guidance, you have no peace. Then the next verse comes, so that you really understands what will happen with him. إِنَّ قَدْ أُوحِيَ إِلَيْنَا أَنَّ الْعَذَابَ عَلَى مَنْ كَذَّبَ وَتَوَلَّى. It's revealed to us that the punishment will be on who
lies,
turns around and belies this message. You know, look,
so I think
look, this kind of courage.
Courage. If we talk
I
about
would really like, you know, نسأل الله أن يدخلنا الجنة. We ask Allah to put us in paradise. And I really want to ask Musa, how did the Pharaoh look at him when he was standing like this in front of him?
Thank you guys very much for your time. I know we had a question from the studio audience, but the show is over. We have no more time. Inshallah, after the program, perhaps we can talk more with our brothers. So you guys, thank you for coming. We look forward to seeing you next time, inshallah. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. You guys at home, stay tuned for more Let's Talk next week. Same time, same channel. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the dips are high, and you want to smile but have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt. Success is a failure